All right, looks like we are all up and running. Daryl, hopefully we're good. And by the way, happy birthday to you. Thanks for always helping us and staying after hours for doing all this. And again, thanks for all the rest of the team for doing so too, because I know there are a bunch of people helping out and listening to this as well. It's not just me doing all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so we're going to be going through this. I am super excited again. Last time we had a webinar, I was super excited. I mean, I keep thinking like, how long am I going to be excited? But this market wants to keep going. So we are going to take it for all it's worth, have a great time with it. And that's kind of what I want to be talking about today. So we'll be getting into this and geez, we're just going to be having a good time. So I do also have some people collecting some questions. So, as you guys go through this, and I don't always see every question, we are going to, I'm going to have them collected so I can get back to them at the end, but I will go over questions as well. Yeah, it's, today, of course, the one thing, you know what, we're right here. Let's just fix that so that when this thing is recorded, we do have an accurate date. So thank you very much for that. There are always a lot of numbers and things going on in here that we just try and do our best. All right. But yeah, so yeah, I do offer a live feed. I've got a live trading class, but that's for later, and you guys can find out more about me anyway. Yeah, Daryl's having a good time over there. All right, so I've titled this one "How to Trade a Raging Bull Market" because I honestly think that's what it is. My account sure says it is. I know that the people who are trading with me in the Moxie room also feel like it is a raging bull market out there too. So we're going to be talking about some of the best techniques for a hot and fast market, which is what we're in. And yeah, just want to kind of show you all the proof and how we're doing this and all that. So here is the disclaimer. Always got to have this up there. The lawyers tell us we need to do this for our own protection. Please don't sue me. This is for educational purposes. We're having a good time out there, and we're just trying to help. All right. So I do get this a lot, because I've got another class coming up, and people are like, well, why do we need another class? Well, we need another class because we're in a new phase of the market. My first class was basically when the market was normal, typical strong market, something like that, good bullish market. And my second class was after the bear market when we were still trying to recover from the COVID lows and COVID crash and kind of just figure this out. Volatility had expanded. Things were getting a little bit crazy. We were seeing big moves up, big moves down. I mean, it was really kind of crazy because everyone was trying to adjust to this new thing and find out where the winners were, what the losers were, what's going to happen, what's going on with stimulus, what's going on with the vaccine. I mean, all this kind of stuff. And that was another something that we needed to adapt to. And now this class is about how to trade a hot and fast market because we are in a new phase here. And my last webinar covered that and said what I think that we're into. So this is going to be more of like, okay, how are we going to handle this thing? Because we are in it and we're having a great time with it. Here is an example. Why do we need a new class? This is why we need a fresh class. In November 2019, I know some of you have been around here for a while and know this. I had my first $100,000 day, like $100,000 in a single day in a single account. Today, and I know that many of you Moxie people are out there. Today, I had my first $1 million day, and it was in 2 accounts. You can see that up here. And, some people might say like, well, it's easy to make $1 million when you have $1 million. Like, sure, okay, fine. I made 22% in an entire account today. I made 15% in another, 20%, 18%. And then down here, these are my stock only. I trade only stock in these accounts, and they also made 18%, 28%, 22%, and 18%. So I don't know. I'm almost better with just stocks than even trying to dabble with some of these options. But, this is pretty cool. I have 2 different accounts with 2 different sizes, and both of them made $1 million today. So, talk about the kind of market we're in. That's exciting. And really, even if you don't have big accounts like this, look at this thing. I'll get into this one a little bit later, but how would you like to have 18% in one day? Maybe even you get lucky, 22 or 28% in a day on just stocks. So we have rarely seen this before. The only comparison might be the Roaring Twenties, as we have some people kind of talking about, or the late 1990s. And I don't know about you, but most of us don't actually know what it was like to trade back then. None of us know what it was like to actually trade during the 1920s. Some of us maybe in the 1990s, sure, but it's different. Like we have good computers, everything's online, we have Twitter, we have all this kind of stuff. Just because you were trading in the 1990s, trading nowadays is actually kind of different. Like we've got some really good, powerful technology and stocks and indicators and instant communication. We've got classes like this. It's just different. And so the biggest thing is we are living through this one. Like we are living through this one right now. And do you know how to properly trade and take advantage of a market where the small caps are what's leading, that the small cap index has gone vertical? I mean, again, have you guys ever been around when the IWM has done that? Holy bejesus. So the small caps leading means risk is on and pedal to the metal. However, you can't just buy and hold. We're not really kind of in that market anymore. We're in a stock pickers market. We might have a market that is on fire, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can still easily lose a lot of money. And timing is critical because look at ZM. ZM was the darling of the COVID situation. And of course, it made a lot of money for a long time, but they also stop and take breathers for a while. And you can see it went down 40% recently. And it took a few months to do that, like down 40%. You're going to keep holding on to that. And then, as I said, timing. What about timing? A lot of people thought that this was a low and maybe they bought this. And what if it went up and then went down? You can lose money in a bull market right there. Or what if you look at this and you think this is a double bottom, and so you buy right here and then it goes down and you're losing money? It is possible that if you don't know what you're doing, if you get the timing wrong, you can still lose money in a bull market if you're picking the wrong things. And again, you don't want to really just buy and hold. Now, the other thing here, since I made this slide, ZM popped. I knew it. We called this a week before it actually did, but do you know why? I know why, and I was telling my people why. I was even telling Ethan out there that ZM was popping right here. So, take something like that and get the right timing with this stuff, because there's no sense wasting your money or your time when this thing is declining 40%. So time is money, again, buy and hold. If you do that, you might just be wasting your money, because look at NVIDIA. For 5 months, this thing went sideways like this from October 2020 to February 21. It's doing nothing. It's trying to move now, but it basically did nothing for 5 months. You gonna buy and hold on that? I don't think so. And what about options? Maybe if you're a day trader, you can kind of find something there. Maybe you can sell some premium. I don't know, but maybe there's some strategies around here. But you're missing out on the kind of stuff that I'm at least catching. And that's what we want to make sure that you're aware of, that we want to make sure you are getting the good stuff that's out there. So here's the thing. While NVIDIA went sideways, in the same time that Amazon and Facebook and Adobe and Netflix were all going sideways, I took a Roth IRA. Not even like, everyone thinks about an IRA as being kind of like slow and protected and stuff like that. I took a Roth account from 1.25 million to 8 million as of today. Like I had to keep updating my slides. This is today because the account, it hit 8 million today. Look at this thing. This is the curve. It is going parabolic. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff that we need to be in. And all of this while NVIDIA went sideways and was sleeping. So MCB says, great picks. You're in the zone. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. And you got to find the right names. You got to find the right names. You got to find the right stocks, the right sector, all that kind of stuff. While Zoom Video went down 40%, I took a $700,000 account to 5.5 million as of today. All right, that's a 785% gain, all the same time that Zoom Media went down 40%. All right, so you got to pick the right stock. You don't want to just sit and hold, all that kind of stuff. Now, this isn't even my account. This is my family's account. This is the kind of stuff I've been talking about for a long time, where I actually said, I'm looking at my family's money, with a typical firm, like whatever, like the normal stockbroker stuff. And it went lockstep with the market down. And my sister sent me this the other day. She said, TG, Dad said you rocked it again in the market today. And this was like Monday. This was what, today is Wednesday. This was on Monday. She said, thank you so much for allowing us to not only not have to worry about me not earning money right now, because she's a hair and makeup artist and her job is just not doing well right now. So because it's so slow, but enabling us to move forward, being able to put Ridley, my niece, their daughter, in a private daycare preschool next year that will challenge her and foster her. We owe you a lot. So this isn't even my money. This is my family money. We're taking care of it. And look at this thing, parabolic. That is some really, really fun and exciting stuff that I've been having to update every day for this presentation, and it's kind of ridiculous. The other thing, who's been hearing about Reddit? I'm sure when this whole thing came out, you heard it everywhere, all over the place about the GameStop squeeze, Reddit, up against hedge funds. It's true. This stuff was really happening. We need to be aware of this. I don't think this is really just a fluke. I think that something is going on out there because the energy, the angst, and the wake-up call that was the Reddit GameStop squeeze has shown us that times are changing. If you guys can find this out here, or if you want to look back later and pause this, you should actually read this article that they posted on Reddit and that I screenshotted here. It really does kind of talk about some of the stuff that might be out there that we need to know, because we are here trading our own money, taking matters into our own hands, and that's important. That is what is important. Now, I don't know anything personally about this. I can't speak for them, but I was frustrated with any institution that I had my money, my family money with, because it went down with the market. And I said, you know what, I can do better. And so this whole Reddit thing demonstrated that we, you, me, us, we can invest for ourselves and actually do something about our futures. We know how to live our lives. We now know our lives and livelihoods can be altered very quickly due to outside forces, but the market lives on. So does Kmart, so does Walmart, so does all the big, big box stuff. Like, we need to kind of protect ourselves. We need to diversify. We need to do something about this stuff. So part of that online revolution that we've been seeing about the work from home or shop from home, part of it is trading. Like, we know this. We've been talking about this for a long time. There have been an immense amount of people who've suddenly flocked to the stock market. Trading is essentially free. Apps are free. Information's out there. Twitter, Reddit, all this stuff is out there. It's different. Things have changed out there. And you guys are the proof. I mean, you guys really are the proof. We got people, all my subscribers are thrilled with this. I've made more money in my 401k the first month of 2020 with the Moxie team than I've ever made in 2 years letting my brokerage manage my money. I'm not afraid. That's a great attitude to have. Gus, I just saw the P&L of my chart of my first month. Wow. Greg, having a great day, a great, 3 days with 3 stocks. That's awesome. Time to invest more with Moxie. Chuck, I've decided to give TG a shot. Thank you. I like the way he trades and make sure I put his Moxie indicator on all my charts. And Vanessa, always appreciate your comments and stuff. You're having a great, Moxie in the most of the week. Crazy market. I know I speak for everyone when I say we appreciate all you do. So thank you very much. And always talking about being a good teacher and guidance. That's really my whole point of existence right now, is being a good teacher, helping people understand and learn out there. And then Backstop, thank God Simpler Trading brought you on board. Your method and approach was just what I was looking for. And I hear that a lot. I guess the way that I look at the markets really resonates with a lot of people. And Launch Control, do appreciate. Biggest day of my trading career. So awesome, awesome stuff. But you got to be wary. All right. Again, with the Reddit stuff, GameStop stuff, what did we see out there? If something is free, what is the product? Probably you. And I'm not going to go into detail about Robinhood. I don't want to be getting in trouble or anything like that. But we need to be aware of what's out there and kind of what's going on. Don't forget, Robinhood was on the side of the hedge funds and flipped the switch so that users could only liquidate GameStop while the big funds were free to do whatever they wanted. All right. Just be aware of what's going on out there. We try and help you and be protective as much as possible, but it's a crazy world out there. It's the wild, wild west. And it was a coordinated effort to stop that short squeeze. Now, as I said, I don't think it was a fluke. I don't think it was over. I think things are happening out there that we still need to be aware of and be able to take advantage of them. So what is your plan of action in this market? I mean, if this market's so great, what are you doing? Moxie as your plan of action. We are probably at the beginning of a new era of investing. Do you want to be a part of it? And if you want to take matters into your own hands, because again, I assume you do, that's why you guys are here. That's the only reason you guys are here. I'll teach you Moxie, and you can hop on the next paradigm shift in the market. Individual investors investing in the next wave of the future. You guys, like we saw from Reddit, you guys are the reason that the market is doing what it's doing and changing. And we might be taking power away from some of the hedge funds, and at least we're democratizing investing, all that kind of stuff. We actually have power. We saw that with Reddit, and I think we continue to see that. But what we can also do is we can speak with our money. We can speak with our money when we go shopping. We can speak with our money when we go investing. Think about it: electric vehicles, lithium, nickel, solar, all this stuff. This is the future. Anything electric, alternative fuels, power storage, this is the future. Cannabis, it's the future. It had a hot couple of days recently. That's kind of the future. Crypto, we know that. Tech and semis, online, which is work from home, stay from home, shop from home, all that kind of trade from home. We know that's happening. And then drones and space. We also know that's the future. There's even more that I can talk about out here that is the future that will keep this stuff going, that I think we will have a really good time in the next year, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, but I'm not too concerned about the future. Yeah, there will be pullbacks, there will be downtrends, but overall, there is a lot of stuff out there that will keep our economy and our market going. Now, a little bit about me in case you guys don't know, in case you think I'm some guru, some magic, whatever. Yes, I've been doing this for a while, but honestly, I started from someplace too. My dad took me to my first stock trading seminar when I was 12. Like really, I was 12, and there were a bunch of 50, 60-year-olds in there, and I'm the 12-year-old. And it was kind of fun. I didn't really know what I was doing, didn't know what I was looking at. And so I asked the presenter when they were done, I said, is this really possible? I mean, can people make money from whatever you guys are doing on these screens and like looking at lines and graphs? And then he said, yes, of course. Nobody was born knowing how to trade. I didn't know how to trade. I had to learn too. And I kind of figured it out. And it was amazing when he said that. I didn't know at the time, but this is one of the most important phrases that would later help me in my challenging career of trading, was nobody was born knowing how to trade. I thought, okay, well, then that means you can learn and that this is possible. And so a little bit about me. My interests shaped my trading style. I graduated from ASU Polytechnic in 2010 with a manufacturing engineering degree. So very much engineering, all that kind of stuff. And I apply that to the markets. Like I'm a gearhead up in there. And then I wanted to kind of work with money a little bit more, help people with their money. So I became a financial advisor with New York Life, did my own business with them for a few years. I had success. I just didn't really like it too much. And my dad kind of got me back around into the stock trading thing. Kind of partway through that, and found a group that I liked, and then I kind of ran from there. And that's when I came up with the Moxie Indicator, and that's when I founded Moxie Trader at the time, and that was 2016. And I just, everything's in the rearview mirror at this point. And then I'm also a pilot. My dad and I are both pilots, which is important to the trading thing, because being a pilot has really instilled a lot of discipline in me, because if you are reckless or don't follow your checklist, you can really kill your account and damage your airplane and yourself and all that stuff. So the pilot aspect really does resonate with me inside of the stock market. This is a fun picture. That's our airplane I have. That's me right there. And the Moxie checklist and rules are what help get me into some of these killer 200+% trades. So, I really try and keep a checklist type attitude to when I trade, and obviously for flying. Now, a little bit more about me with this, again, gearhead, mechanical. I fly airplanes, I work on them. We do our own maintenance on this stuff. I am very mechanically oriented, and that is the approach I took when trading. There is an answer. That was always the thing. Like, there's an answer. I just need to figure it out. Like, their market is here. People make money. How do they do it? I just need to figure it out. So I took the skills I have with flying and working on aircraft and applied it to my pursuit of the market. And I don't know, I think it's paying off. What do you guys think? All right. And then I know some of those bigger accounts kind of look crazy, and you're like, yeah, $1 million, that's way outside my, okay, fine. So what I decided to do is I like to kind of recycle, John does it. I think all the big traders always like to say, hey, I can trade a small account the same way I can trade a big account. At the beginning of January, I opened up a fresh $10,000 account so I could demonstrate that I trade in the same way. Look at this thing. January 7th, $10,000, first trade kind of gives you a weird number. A month later, February 10th, today, $19,000. That is plus 90% in 1 month on stock only, no options. All right. This is how insane this market is right now. And I want to make sure you guys know how to take advantage of this stuff. Okay. I don't make this stuff up. This is insane. And it's awesome at the same time. Here was another one. So over a year ago, October 2019, $5,000 account, worked it up to about 29,000, added another 25,000, and then here we are, 88,000 as of today. So just so you to see the math here, 5,000, 29,000 is 580% gain. And then, like in basically a month, little over a month, I grew 55 to 88, that's 58%. So you add that up, 638% gain in 15 months, stock only, no options. So again, 638% in a little bit over a year. Yeah, closer to a year and a half, something like that. That's pretty great. I'll take those. All right, now here is where those numbers get fun. All right. Are you familiar with compound growth? Because compound growth is fun. I know this sounds nerdy, but it's totally fun. Let's assume your account, you get 10% growth per month. All right. You kind of think about that. You're like, okay, 10%, 10%, 10%. That should be like 120% per year, right? Only if you don't change your size per trade and all that stuff, so $10,000 account comes out to $22,000 a year, basically a double. Okay, that's fantastic. Any of us would take that. However, if you took your 10% gain every month and factored that into the next round of trades each month, you are now compounding your growth. So let's see what it does there. You start at $10,000 and 10%, then you take that 10% on top of your 10% and your 10% on top. Look at that, comes out to $31,000. You have now tripled your account growth by the end of the year simply by recycling your gains into your account and stepping up your trade sizes each time. All right. So compounding interest has been said it's the 8th wonder of the world. And yes, there will be plenty of chart examples coming up. I just want to talk about some of this nerdy stuff first so that you guys can see what I'm up to. Like, why are my accounts going parabolic? They're going parabolic because of this stuff. So as a more fun example, what if you took 30% a month? Now, that's not typical. Just want to make sure. Again, lawyers, don't sue me, all that kind of stuff. What if you took 30% per month and you just started, okay, 10,000, now you're at 13,000, you go up. Now you're talking $232,000 from a $10,000 investment because you recycled your 30% gain every month into your trades. All right. So now think about what I do on a daily basis. Every time I have a big win, I recycle those bank gains back into my account and I can make a bigger trade next time. That is the key. That's what's important. So Neil, thank you. You may get tired of hearing it, but your view on the market makes so much sense. I cannot believe it. I was telling a friend of mine about Moxie and I listened to myself. If I didn't know better, I would think I was full of rubbish. The proof is in the account and I'm up since January 1st, 2021. And then Jack, thank you. TG, I just wanted to reach out and say a big thank you for your teachings and service you provide. When I signed up for Moxie Trading Service, I expected to grow my account. However, this is far beyond my expectations. Most importantly, I have learned a ton. That is what's important. You learn as you go. So what about options? Because I keep talking about the stock stuff. I don't do option strategies. I kind of dabble with options. If I'm going to do something, I just buy like a long call, nothing fancy. I'm still kind of figuring out. But if you trade options, and if you guys like option strategies, knowing where the price will or won't go can offer many profitable strategies. Imagine catching it, and this is an old slide, 10 to 200%. Well, I had to cross that out because my new record is now 315% on one single trade. So imagine 20 to 315% gains in a stock combined with option leverage. And Moxie and my method work just as well with options. So if you guys like options, I'm telling you, it works just as fine with it. The important thing to take away here is that as your account grows, your mental trading abilities need to grow with it. Your comfort with larger numbers needs to improve. Like really, I used to be trading a $50,000 account. Now I'm trading multiple accounts that are multi-million-dollar accounts. Don't know how else to say that. So yeah, during the class, I'll be discussing some of the tips and tricks I use to help me cope with such large numbers. All right, that's important that we do something like that. Like how do you not panic when your account is down over $200,000 within an hour of the open? I mean, like literally today in the markets, you guys saw we had a liquidation break. I was up in some accounts like $500,000, and then during that liquidation break, I was down to zero. All my profit went away, and then by the end of the day, I had doubled my profit. It was a wild day. And whether it's $500,000 swings that are in your account or $5,000 account swings, this is still important money to you, and that's still a lot of percentage that you need to deal with. So it's just understanding the charts, understanding what's going on, and being okay with the fluctuations and having faith in the kind of trading that you're doing. Now, this is what I'm talking about, how to learn how to read the stock market like a book. I love trading, but I may not always be here for you. And I know that kind of sounds morbid, but like, I may not always be here for you. Like, what if I get sick? What if I'm in the hospital? What if I break a leg? I don't know. Like, what if I'm not here for you? I want to make sure that you guys know how to do this on your own. The goal is for you to know how to do this with or without me. We love having you on as subscribers, but there are enough of you. We want to make sure that you guys actually know how to do this stuff. Otherwise, we're not doing a good job. We want to be reading the same book, essentially. That's what it comes down to, is if you and I can look at a chart and we see the same thing, that is very, very important. And so you need to own the tools and education so you can fall back on them. And then what you can do, you can get into also trades like this, where the Moxie price trigger fired right there. This is UAVS. You guys know this one. Up 350% in 6 weeks. And in fact, I think it's up here right now, right? This is an old slide of like 3 days. It's a 3-day-old slide. This is the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. You guys want to, for the old one, like, learn how to fish kind of thing. So what inspires you? Consider teaching your kids or your grandkids how to do this. My dad introduced me to the stock market when I was young. It took me a long time, took me many years. I didn't always love it. I wasn't doing this when I was 8 and, never stopped. I was kind of dabbled around. I left a little bit. I went and I got some other jobs. I did school. I came back to it. Kind of drip this on your kids. Make sure they're around. Make sure they're exposed to it. My dad always told me, he said, hey, you're going to have a job. Your job's going to pay you money. You're going to need to invest in the stock market. You might as well know how to do it rather than pay somebody else to do it. Little did he know that I was going to end up where I ended up. So knowledge and education can change your life and your legacy. My life is changing right now. My family's life is changing right now, all because my dad introduced me to this years ago, and then I kind of took it from there. How about Maxar? It's kind of in the space field. We got a trampoline move. You guys know how much I love the Moxie trampoline move. We got plus, I guess that was a typo, plus 98% up there. And we're still looking for an entry right here, okay? There's a nice pullback on Maxar. We're still looking for that entry. But 98%, it's great. And so what I'll be teaching is how to use the few simple tools for my trading style and when to fudge them. That's kind of important right now, like when to fudge them during this hot market, and how I incorporate 3 to 5 time frames to read the market like a book. This is really important. We see a lot of traders out there that just maybe use 1 or 2 time frames. I'm telling you, you're missing out on things. I use all the time frames to really be able to see what's going on out there and have this thing speak to me so I don't have a blind spot, really. And how to have patience for the right setup, because patience for the right setup is worth the wait. I'm telling you. I know we get FOMO, but remember, John always talks about JOMO, joy of missing out. That is kind of actually what I talk about. I have a first trade and I have a second trade. JOMO is when you don't take that first trade. It's very, very important. I'll talk about that in a second here with charts. But it keeps you out of bad trades. And of course, the Moxie checklist in all its glory. People wonder like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do this? It's like, I built a checklist. I just follow the checklist. It tells me what I need to know, and it keeps me on track so that my emotions or my interest or desire to make money or something doesn't override me. I can fall back on something that's written down. So here's space, actually in the space industry, and how we literally got the best entry on space. We got this thing at $24 and change. It was the best entry. You couldn't get a better entry than that. And then this thing ran up for 100%, 110% gain. That was great. So we were all in that one. Now we're out of it. We're waiting for another trend to set up on that. So about this checklist, you guys remember some of the older things that I've talked about with this, but did you know that the checklist actually had to be invented? I know it's kind of such a ubiquitous thing nowadays, and a checklist, we always know about a checklist, but it actually had to be invented in the late 1930s by the Boeing Corporation, because a pair of really good test pilots were testing what became the B-17 bomber back before World War II, and they crashed on takeoff, killing themselves and anybody else on board because they missed a simple little something as far as their procedures to be taken off. And they figured this out as a company and said, hey, these airplanes are getting too complicated that no matter how smart or how good of a pilot you are, if you miss a little something, you can kill yourself. That's exactly what happened. So they thought, okay, well, let's just put everything in order that needs to happen before you do something. And so I took that idea and I applied it to trading. And this is what we get. This is my actually first kind of primitive checklist. And so really, if you guys actually just screenshot this, you'll probably get a lot from this. You'll understand it and it'll make sense. And so passing on my experience, that's what I'm here for. This is what we're doing. That's me as an educator is doing. I'm trying to pass along my experience to you about when to hang on to a trade and when to step aside. Like this thing, WWR, we're going to talk about this one. We got in here, it popped up, and then it came all the way back down. And then look, it came up and it's even 40% higher. So, like, how do you stay through this stuff? How do you know, like, how do you know when to let a position kind of go down and actually have it go up? There's some experience to this, maybe a little bit of faith, but there's definitely some experience. And this is the kind of stuff that I can teach you and show you what it looks like. And especially when you incorporate multiple timeframes, we show you why this makes sense to hang on to something like this. And I actually had my stop alert, so it didn't even hit my stop. And how to handle flags. Right now, because the market is so good, we get positions that go up really fast, and then they got to take a break. So how do you know when to get out? Because you want to get out at the top. You don't want to have to deal with this stuff. Like, think NVIDIA. NVIDIA has just been going sideways for 5 months. How do you miss all that and then make sure you get right back in at the right time? That's the kind of stuff I'll talk about. And how to see when the market top is coming. That's very important. We had one a couple weeks ago. We had one today. I've been talking about we need a pullback. It needs to happen at some point. Totally nailed it. And specific reasons when to take risk off and when to lean into trades, basically down to market timing. You can totally time the market. All right, so this was kind of fun one. Sean, if you're out there, you really made me crack up, so this is why I included this. But I'm getting really suspicious with you. First, your elf shoes, and now the 4th time you are calling the top. You must be a wizard. Are you Harry Potter's cousin? No, but if you know Harry Potter, I would love to play that little wizard game on the broom with the little widget that flies around. Forget the name, but that would be really fun. So this was January 26th. You can see this was January 26th on the S&P. And I said, I'm starting to get a heightened sense of caution due to the market's behavior and the UVXY building up. I'm trying to be the best Sherlock Holmes I can and look for clues as to when something will happen, but I can't see them yet. I have to see how the market goes, and if things start getting too good, I might start pulling in some profits. Later that day, like just a couple hours later, I highly suggest taking significant profits on names that you have. Like, hello, I can't say it anymore to you. Like, that is the warning sign. I'm going to see about holding some, but who knows? I've raised a lot of cash. I've been saying something is coming, so get ready for it. And then the next morning, here you go, on the 27th, before the market opens. Good morning, traders. How is that for timing? Told you we would have to stay close to our trading desk this week. We took a bunch of risk off yesterday and freed up some cash. I was very clear that something was lurking out there to the downside, and we were seeing it this morning. And you can see that was that gap down. See if I can delete everything here. That was that gap down on the 27th. Totally nailed it. So that is the kind of stuff that I do to help communicate to you guys. And you know what? If you sign up for the class and you see all this stuff, I give you the indicator, I teach you how to do this, you guys will be able to figure this out. You guys will be able to see this, and then you can follow along with me. I mean, that's really actually one of the big perks of having you guys in my Moxie room, is that a lot of you are actually pretty savvy and know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and you can follow along with me, and you just use me as a consultant, just to kind of come in there and help tweak things a little bit for you. And then I also called this top right there. Like, how did I know that was a top? We'll talk about that too. That was perfect. So called that one as well. And then we got a liquidation break today. So called that one also. I think this is the next slide. So I'll show you how to stick with trends as well. Let me just make sure that is the right one. Yep. So anybody remember this slide from my Kickstart 2021? It was where I was showcasing SNDL and I was using JMI as an example. This was totally a freebie trade. I showed everybody in the world on this one at 68 cents, and I said, look, I think something's here. I think something is really, really here. And if you look at this, SNDL today up over 345% from that point that I showed you, like from where I showed you guys. Like, that is what helped make me $1 million today. That is what happened. But it's all possible. All of this stuff follows the Moxie rules. It all follows everything. And in fact, I think it's up here in the overnight. So those of us who are in the Moxie room, we should have a good morning tomorrow with this name. But yeah, learn about trends and when to keep on something. I like to think, why constantly search when you can trade what you already have? It kind of keeps the workload down a little bit. Yeah, good job, guys. ZW, I see you out there. And then building confidence. So this is another one that we're going to be doing a deep dive on, silver. It kind of gave us a little bit of a spook back here, but I kind of knew that was coming. And again, it followed the rules. Even though this thing plummeted like this and actually stopped us out like a profitable stop out, I knew what was coming. I just didn't know when or how hard it was going to be. And we're going to do a really deep dive on this one to show about all the little nuances and all the little details. I had some people doubting and questioning me when we were getting back into this thing because they were saying, oh, it doesn't follow your rules. Well, this is the opportunity that I can show you guys and like spend a long time really going through this and saying, why did this thing follow the rules? And I'll show you like over 5 reasons why I did it and how all of those reasons follow the Moxie rules. Just make sure you don't overlook the details. It's going to be a great learning opportunity. And actually, I was ahead of the Reddit crowd. Remember, we got the Reddit crowd squeezing this thing right here. But each of these arrows is where I made a public statement and a public trade getting into silver. And yeah, I think this thing is doing great. Greg, nice trades out there. I see what you're saying out. Good job. And yeah, examining the Reddit squeezes. So we got to catch some of the Reddit squeezes. We didn't know what was coming. This is a really cool stuff out there. We're going to talk about the Reddit squeezes as well, because a lot of these names actually set up as the Reddit squeeze was going on, the GameStop squeeze, and we didn't even know that this was going to proliferate the same way that it was. Like before we knew the true extent of the Reddit GameStop squeeze, the Moxie indicator in my method picked up on several great trades. I notified and traded several of them only to be pleasantly surprised by the proliferation of squeezes that fired off, but that's okay. We were already on board. Like Fossil, I told a bunch of you guys to probably get in here and say, hey, this thing looks pretty good. This 100% followed the Moxie rules and the Moxie checklist, and then it succumbed to the Reddit squeeze, and it was 170% in 4 days. I mean, this thing just went vertical like that, but it totally followed all the rules. Like we don't need to know what was even going on. We just have to know how to trade. So learn how the charts speak to us. That's kind of what's important. This isn't just me being a guru. It's that this stuff is teachable. Remember, when I was 12 years old and I was in that seminar, this is teachable. This is the really cool stuff. Like I had to learn how to do this. And if I learned how to do that, that means I can convey it to you. So here was an actual post from back there on the 22nd. I said, I also covered Express yesterday and it just popped 30%. With that, I grouped Fossil and Goose. You guys may want to take a look into it. Moxie and my method caught these without us knowing the why. Like I didn't know why these things were going to do this. I didn't know why they were moving. I just saw that the charts were acting up the way that they needed to and followed all the Moxie rules. Therefore, all the information I need is in the charts, and all the information you need is in the charts. And I'll teach you all of the reasons I covered this in my live session. Like, why did I cover it? I'll teach you. So Tatiana, thank you. We can't use percentages for legal reasons. So that's really unfortunate because you had some big numbers here. So I'll just go with that. They are not typical results. So I also have to kind of say that. But Tatiana, I know you know these numbers and you've mentioned them in the Moxie room. So yeah, I wish I could use those numbers because they were nice. Either way, Express was up over 800% in 4 days. And this is where I notified the Moxie group about it. And again, it's just because it followed the Moxie rules. I just say, hey, this looks like a great chart. And I think something's going to happen. And it sure did. So, but how do we stay out of bad trades? This is kind of what I was talking about before. Like, how do we stay out of flags and stuff? So one of the trickier parts about trading is knowing when to not enter, right? The sign of a good trader is knowing when to not trade. How do you not get suckered into a false entry? My method on moving averages and the Moxie inverse trampoline move are my best tools. And you can see here with MDB, 5 weeks. 5 weeks, this thing went from peak to best entry. There are 5 weeks that you could be doing something else with your money or making sure you're not in something like this that's just wasting your time before you actually need to get back in. And here you can see this is the inverse trampoline move, right? So we talk about that a lot, inverse trampoline move. Not necessarily a reason to short things, but it's a reason to not be in something. And I'll teach you in the class why right here is the right entry. Using those multiple time frames, I could show you exactly why that it's a consistent reason. I got the checklist and the rules and the reason. It's not like I just, super guru and I can just sense this and feel it out. No, I have hard reasons why that was the entry right there. So a hot and fast market has certain characteristics. I can show you the exact entry which follows the consistent Moxie rules. And then determining the differences. And this is where kind of just seat the pants kind of stuff. You just need to have a little bit more time in the market, but I'll show you why I also called this one out. This is JMIA. I called this one out. I said, hey guys, I think this one's going to be working. And it did. And then I said it again. I think even during the live session, I said, hey, this thing looks amazing. There's a regular trampoline move, and you guys know how I love the trampoline moves right there. And so we'll do a deep dive on this one and why this worked. So, it's like, why did NBD take so long to set up again and needed a double bottom with some inverse trampoline moves? But why did JMIA only need a little bounce off the daily 50 and then took off? So we're going to talk about that as well. And obviously, sometimes they don't work out. I mean, we always like to show the good trades and all that stuff. Yeah, we lose money. I got stopped out of edit today, but I got stopped out of edit today, and yet today was one of my biggest days. So it just comes with the territory. Like, getting stopped out is a great thing. It means you were protected from something worse. What if edit keeps going down? It doesn't matter. I'm out. It's great. So losses are just part of trading, and we need to look at it like expenses in a business, all right? Because trading is a business. Even with losses, I still have massive gains, just like today. So AMD was kind of an example of that. We got in here, we added a little bit more. Everything was looking great. I thought maybe this was going to be a pullback, but then something about like IBM got a new CEO, which kind of spooked AMD investors, and it went down. So we got stopped out. Good thing we got stopped out, because look what else, like look how far this thing went down. And it's still not really recovered. It's trying, but it's still not recovered. So thank goodness we got stopped out. I'm happy to be out of something like that. Yeah, Jason, I'm definitely going to be going, like, you guys, there will be nothing hidden in the class. You guys are going to know everything I know. We're going to go over everything. We're going to answer all the questions. It's going to be like 4 or 5 hours that we're going to be going over everything for the class, and it's going to be recorded. So, I'm going to convey everything that's in my brain to you guys. Noka Jones, yeah, thanks. Love the way you just worded that about taking stops. Light bulb moment, fantastic. All right, so how many tools do we need? I know we love indicators and all that stuff, and hey, go for it. If you like an indicator, go for it. And something like this, I've seen other really good traders who have stock charts like this, and it didn't work for me. I had problems. I was like, okay, if one indicator is good, then like more must be better, right? Well, what if you have some of them conflicting? So I do like to have more than one indicator, but I don't like to have a ton, because I do find that they start to kind of differ or conflict and stuff. So what is the Moxie indicator? Well, first off, it's clean and simple down here. Very, very clean and simple. Stair steps. I'll go over this in the class, but these stair steps are actually very, very important. There's a lot of information in those stair steps, like that. Positive, negative area, that's simple, positive, negative, lots of gas, no gas. And then divergences. Divergences are really the key. The divergences are what tell us what's going on inside of the stock before the stock actually knows what's going on. And then precision. You guys know my precision. I think that is probably my claim to fame, is that my precision abilities of seeing what the market is. And it is a combination of my trading method and the Moxie indicator. So that's what's important. And I've kind of put it all together to really do all that stuff. And yes, the Moxie indicator does play well with other indicators. So, don't worry about, getting this thing and being like, oh, is it the end all be all? I mean, I think so, but does it work well with others? Of course. I use it with the squeeze. I use it with the stochastic. I know a lot of people use it with the RAF. Yeah, it plays well with other indicators, so you guys don't have to worry about that. And then this was a fun one. I kind of grilled this one when I was in the options room talking about this, but have you ever had a stock collapse and damage your account? Like, just have the bottom absolutely open up. It's like a sinkhole. This is true. This is what I really use. The Moxie has one of the best methods for seeing that coming, and it's called the inverse trampoline move. So this is great. Here is the Moxie price trigger to the downside. What that tells you is energy is now negative, and this is a conflict. Why is price going up when the Moxie indicator keeps going down and down and down and staying below zero? Something is wrong there. Moxie was screaming at you for days, telling you not to be in this thing before the bottom finally let out. And then you can see right there, and then it triggered. So this is the kind of stuff, we'll talk about this. This will be another deep dive in here. The Moxie indicator is really, really good at keeping you out of trades. And again, remember, it's very important. The sign of a good trader is knowing when to not be in a trade and when to not trade. Moxie indicator really helps you stay out of stuff like this and avoid this. So why reinvent the wheel? You guys love trading. You want to come in here, fine. You can go do it on your own. I did it on my own. It took me a long time. So shortcut the years that I've spent studying profitable stock patterns. I mean, I've got this thing pretty down pat, and all you have to do is kind of learn what I'm teaching you. avoid the growing pains that I had to do of designing and refining my Moxie indicator and method. I just convey it to you. You get scanners to find the price triggers and the trampoline moves. I had to build all this stuff. I actually had to figure out how this stuff does and how this stuff works. Eric helped me. Other programmers helped me before I got to Simpler. I had to say, hey, this is what I need. And then I had to go back there and study it and study it and study it and work on it and just take all that time. But now we've got a full package ready to go. And if you like what you see, my goal is to help you learn how to pick precise stock trades without having to stare at the markets all day. I'm an end-of-day trader. I can go away. I just went skiing for a few days and everything was fine. I just came back an hour before the market closed and said, hey, where are we at? And let the Moxie indicator identify objective entries and exits for you, and use the proven checklist to remember my new number, 315%, and avoid false signals as much as possible. And if you like what you've seen so far, I'm helping others. Starting in November 2020, just a few months ago, with the vaccine news and a new administration, I realized we were in a new bull market, a hot one. Man, this is good. So I put together a class of all the things we need to know for this phase of the market, and now I can share them with you. I know I keep seeing a bunch of questions over there about class. It's like, yeah, here we go. Take it to Wall Street. So this is what we're going to be doing about the class. We've got dates coming up. It's going to be February 20th, which is right around the corner. And then we've got a couple live trading days. So let me dig into that. If you guys are interested, the website is simplertrading.com/take. And we're going to dive into these packages too. And if you have the Moxie indicator, we're going to talk about that too in a second. So, this is everything you get. You get the basic, the pro, and the elite, and everything that is here. So let's go talk about what that is. You're going to get the strategy class. That's going to be the thing on Saturday, the 20th, when I go out and, we're all having our coffee in the morning saying, okay, let's go learn about this stuff. Let's go learn how to trade the markets and make some money out there. It's going to be a good time. We'll take some breaks. I love this stuff. I eat it up. And then you're going to get the Moxie indicator. You're going to get the install session. You're going to get the Moxie watch list and the scans. So let me kind of show you what that stuff is, because it's a little bit easier to explain on these other slides. And for those of you, I know there is a large group of you that already have the Moxie indicator. So if you have it already, no problem. Just call our sales team or our customer support. They're going to take care of you. We got special packages if you already have the indicator. So here are the numbers and the email. Go talk to them. They'll help you out. They're prepared for this. So why Moxie? I'm also getting that question. I see people saying like, well, is this any different than your other classes? Like, we've taken your class before. Do we need to take this one? Hey, more power to you, whatever you want to do. But I think it's good to reinvest in yourself. And what's happening is the market is different. I told you in the beginning of this presentation, I said, I had that normal class when everything was kind of normal and I was new to Simpler and kind of did all that. I've been doing this now for a while at Simpler and I've gotten better. Everything's gotten better. And then my next class was when everything changed and we're in this crazy market. And now we're in the strongest bull market I have ever seen, and I think most of us have ever seen. So if you don't want to take the class, great. You can take the tools and try and, catch up to whatever this market is doing. Or you guys can come join me for a few hours and, get that shortcut and say, oh, now I see everything you're seeing. And now I can try and also go make 20% in a day on my account using just stocks. So this is the kind of stuff that, yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't sign up. Like the market is different. I just can't say it enough. The market is different. There are things flying all over the place. And if you're in the wrong stuff, you don't understand what the buzz is about. Like if you're trading Amazon and Apple and Nvidia and whatever, you're like, what's going on? Like, why is he so excited? Because I am taking trades that are popping 200, 300, 400%. And these are the stuff that I want to show you about. It's happening. I think it's going to continue for 2021. It might continue for 2022. It's out there. And so, yeah, you guys want to come take a class and see what I'm doing? This is the whole point. Market conditions are some of the most unique we've ever seen. There's a lot of opportunity, but you have to know where to look and how to apply these strategies. We are seeing stuff that they are going vertical. They're going vertical. It's crazy. So come with me and do this stuff. Remember, I had $1 million profit day because of what this market is doing here. All right. So that's why we need a new class. Yeah. All right. So the basic package, what you'll get with this, you'll get the Moxie strategy class. That's what we're going to do on Saturday. You're going to get the indicator if you don't already have it. It's included in this package. And then you're going to get the indicator install session. So Duncan's going to be the one that does that. He's great. He's done this a few times. So he knows that indicator inside and out. He's answered everybody's questions. So if there's ever a problem, he knows how to take care of that thing wonderfully. And then as a bonus, you're also going to be getting the Moxie stock watch list, which I'll show you next, and the Moxie scans. So come do this. The strategy class is going to be February 20th, Saturday, 12 to 4 p.m. Central. And to be perfectly honest, it might go a little bit longer. If you guys are having a good time, if I still have material, or if you have questions, I'm here for you. You know, we'll go as long as we need to go, as long as you guys are having a good time, and if we have questions to be answered. So I'm here for you. All right, we're having a little fun. I had to update this today. $7.25 million growth in under 4 months in a single account. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So Duncan is going to be doing the bonus indicator install session Friday, February 19th. That's ahead of the class, so that anybody who doesn't have the indicator yet, they can get it, and then they can be up to speed and ready to go for the class and have the indicator installed and ready. So we got that one. And then this is the latest tool that we've created for the Moxie indicator and for anybody else who wants it. This is the Moxie watch list. And I know a bunch of people use it. I know Imram's out there using it a lot. We've color-coded things. It's an easy place to either use your watch list or some of the public watch lists out there, and you run them through this. And at a glance, based on your sorting, you can see which ones have the Moxie price trigger above or below, the Moxie indicator above or below, triggering, you know, it has a look back period. So, you know, maybe you got lazy and you didn't scan one day. You can run it through your watch list. You can say, oh, I saw that the Moxie price trigger triggered up or down 2 or 5 days ago. So it's a really good, easy visualization to see at a glance which ones maybe you should be looking at. And you can actually bring them to the top based on your sorting abilities with this. It's great. You just kind of double click that and it sorts it all to the top. So that's really good. John H., the Moxie indicator is a momentum-based indicator. So what we try to measure is acceleration, you know, energy, how far something has moved, all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of what we factor into it. And then you're going to get the Moxie stock scans along with this. And what we scan for is the trampoline move, which is right here. That's when price is below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. And you guys know that is one of my best scans. I love that thing. The trampoline move is one of my strongest setups in the world. So I absolutely love it. And then we also scan for the price trigger, which is right here. So between those two scans, you would have come across this stock twice. So once here, once there. This is space. And this was our first trade that we got some really good profit on before. So yeah, we got that. And then for the pro package, you know, you get everything in the basic. And what we're doing different with this one is you're going to get 2 live trading sessions. We're going to do March 2nd and March 4th. And I do the last 2 hours of the trading day because I'm an end of day trader. So we'll go in there. We'll see what's going on, talk about stuff. Again, I'm all about the education. And, you know, what better way? Actually, I think it's the next one. Oh, yeah, here. We, for those 2 days, you know, because we're going to put on some trades, they're going to go a day or two, and then we meet again. Because of that, we have instant push alerts. So anybody who's already in this stuff, you guys know what we're talking about. But if you're new, this is how we communicate to you. We do push alerts through the Simpler app, and you get alerts right to your phone. So if something happens between the live trading days, if we need to take action or whatever, I can just alert it out. You guys will get it, and that way you don't have to feel like you're just being hung out to dry or anything. It's really, really great that we have this kind of technology for us. And then, yeah, this is what I was going to say earlier, is that you guys take the class, you learn everything we talked about, and then you actually put the rubber to the road and you actually go do the stuff. You're like, okay, I just learned a whole bunch of stuff. Now, what do we do with it? So live trading offers the fastest ways to make these tools your own, because you get to immediately apply them in real-time market conditions. I mean, I can't tell you how, like, have you guys ever tried to learn a board game? And you're like, well, okay, that was a whole lot of rules that I just needed to learn. How about we just play it and I'll learn it as we go? That's exactly what this is. I got to teach you all the rules. And you're like, okay, great. Now what do we do with it? And that's where we step in and we do the live trading and we actually start talking about it, and you learn everything and just put it all together. Darn. Big Ben, I think we've been posting about that. You can find me at simplertrading.com/Moxie. That's where you can find the Moxie room. And David L, yeah, this actually works on stocks of all prices. Now, keep in mind that like penny stocks, they can behave a little bit differently, but somebody in my room today, we were just talking, I forget the thing, I think it was a cannabis stock. It was like a penny or two, but it totally followed the right thing. And then there's another stock, BANT, that's penny stock or something. I'm even trading some penny stocks. Like, look, SNDL was 50 cents, and now I don't even know what it is, $3. And it also works on stocks that are $400 or $500. It works on Google and Amazon, $1,800. It doesn't matter. It works on all the stocks. And then the elite package is an additional 2 days. So instead of 2 days, you now have 4 days. So you're just paying a little bit more to get 4 days. And honestly, again, no promises, lawyers, don't sue us or anything like that. But our whole job, our whole point of doing these live trading days is to make trades. And if you guys have been seeing what I'm doing out here, I make good trades. So the whole point of doing this is you spend the money to sign up. Well, we're going to be active. We're going to make trades. And our hope, no promises or guarantees, but our hope is that, these things get paid for. So I personally think it's in your best best opportunity, I don't know, whatever I'm trying to say. I think it's in your best case scenario that you guys actually want to do this because it means more opportunity to make money. That's what we're trying to do here. And, it's fun. Like we have an additional 4 hours, and honestly, we'll probably go longer because, I always talk a little bit outside of the market, but I'm going to answer your questions. And you guys, when we go through the class, you're going to have questions. I'll answer those questions. You're like, hey, I listened to you for 5 hours on the class. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Can you look at this stock and say, why doesn't this one work? Or what am I missing? I'll answer your questions. I'm here for you. It's really good about that. And we're going to take trades. This market is on fire. I'm sure there will be trades to be taken. Like, we're in an amazing market right now. So the elite package is for a total of 4 days of live trading. And then these are the packages again, just so you guys know, and I'll go to this slide. So if anybody's looking at this and it's, it's a little expensive, or maybe you don't want to pay for it right now, we do have this thing with PayPal that accepts credit. So 0% interest for 6 months. You can pay this thing off. And I think that's a pretty good deal because over the course of 6 months of you guys paying for this, learning how to do it, trading, having time in the market, I don't know. This seems like a good deal as a way to, kind of help pay for that thing. So if anybody's a little sticker shock or has any concerns about that, PayPal is here to help you out and take care of you with 6 months, 0% interest. I mean, like, that's kind of a no-brainer, I think. Like, that's fantastic. They're giving you 6 months with no interest to pay this stuff off. That's great. And if we're not making money in 6 months, I should probably quit. All right, guys. So that's pretty much my spiel and my thing. So let me kind of see what's going on here. All right. Does Moxie teach you how to play these gamma squeezes? Honestly, I don't know much about the gamma squeezes. That's going to be more of Sam's thing. But what I can tell you is I can read the charts, and when there's a squeeze, when there's something going on, Moxie catches it. Because if charts are going to move, they don't just move out of the blue. They tend to build up. They tend to set up and then go. Like the Express, the Fossil, those things, those were probably gamma squeezes for all I know. But the charts set up before it actually happened. So that's all I can say about that one. And then what portion of your account as a percentage are you allocating to each trade to make this success? Risk management is everything at the end of the day. Absolutely. So those of you who are in my alert service, I tend to do, I say 5% or 10% of your account per trade. Now, maybe that's different if you're trading options, but I kind of go from a stock direction. And really, that's kind of what I'm doing because I'm not throwing 25% of my account at a trade. I'm really not. Sometimes I might do 15% of my account, but for the most part, 5, 10% at this. But when you catch a trade, like right now, when you're catching a move that goes to 300%, you just need 10% of your account, and you're making a huge difference in your account. When to exit a trade so I can be a pig getting fat, not a hog that gets slaughtered. Yeah, that's another thing. You guys know me, I'm pretty good at taking things off as they go. Again, anybody in here could probably vouch for me and what's going on, but I do. That's another thing we're going to talk about in this market. When they go vertical, I've now had several trades underneath my belt that have gone extremely vertical. Like look at UAVS. If you guys look that one up, that thing has been moving, and I've done an excellent job taking money off as it goes, taking money off at the top, letting it pull back, and then getting back in right as it turns around again. Again, I know people can vouch for me on that thing, so yes, I do well about taking this stuff and getting out as they go up so that we aren't holding like a full load when this thing pulls back. Let's see, Ron, what is my alert service? We'll send you a website for that. We've been posting about it. And let's see. So the Moxie Mastery is the alert service. This is a class. The alert service, the Mastery, is you don't need to know anything. You just need to follow the things I put out, the alerts that I put out. Like I put out trades, you can choose to take them. You don't need to know anything. You only need to know how to press buttons on your execution platform. This is going to be for those who want to learn how to fish. The Moxie Mastery is I'm just giving you the fish. This class is so that you can learn how to fish. You can learn how to trade. You can learn how to do what I do. I'm not going to hide anything. I'm going to show you everything I do, nuts and bolts, everything. And if you have any questions, I'll answer all of them. So that'll be perfect. Tony H, what are my stop loss? I like to set them basically just under a moving average. You know, I've got an idea for what I want to see. Generally, it's underneath the moving average. And hopefully that moving average is within, I don't know, 3 to 10%. You know, this market's moving so much that I kind of expanded my stop sizes. But having a 10% stop in a market like this when I'm making 300% on a trade, totally fine. Like just like edit. I think I got stopped out on edit today for what, 9 or 10%. Well, at the same time, I just made 80% on SNDL, so it's fine. The indicator, we are working on getting the Moxie indicator on other platforms. It will never be on TradeStation because it doesn't work on TradeStation, but we are working on it with TradingView. We've got Tastyworks, I think, in the line. We got stock charts and some other stuff that we want to get worked up. So we are working on having it on other platforms as well. Everything is recorded. The class is recorded. The live sessions are recorded. And so you guys get to keep them. You can always go back to them and watch it over and over and over and over. John H, I will, I'm not going to be providing a flight checklist, but I will be providing a stock checklist. So yeah, that'll be fine. All right, and then how about in bear markets or crashes or drawdowns? How does that work? Well, I was actually just having a conversation with my family earlier today because, you know, they don't know much about trading and stuff, and they're seeing these kind of gains that I'm making. They're like, what happens if the market turns? What happens if this stops? I said, actually, it's better to have me running your money because if the market turns down, I just go to cash. If the market turns around, we get stopped out. It's the same thing that happened in what, March when the COVID situation happened and the market careened over. Our trade stopped working. They just didn't work. So we got stopped out and now we're in cash while the whole market falls apart. Great. And then about a turn down or a bear market, well, if we are actually in a bear market, we go short, which we did. We actually shorted some things back in the COVID situation when it was going down in March, and we made money as the market went down. So that's about it. I can read the market like a book. I'm going to teach you guys how to read it. And I forget who, one of my testimonials, he's like, I'm not afraid. That's the whole point. You guys are going to feel so in control of what's going on and gain such experience with the market using my method and the Moxie indicator that you won't have fear of the market. I'm not scared of the market. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But I know that I can make money and I know that I can trade well. And that's what's important. And if the market changes, you just adapt to it. That's why we're having a class, because the market kind of changed. Let's see. Hi, TG. If we already have 3 or 4 simpler indicators, why would we need yours too? Can you please explain? Sure. This is just how I work. The only other indicators that I use is the squeeze, and really the squeeze just kind of tells me when things are consolidating. It doesn't actually tell me when to trade or how to trade. And then I have the slow stochastic on there, and that just kind of is a backup thing to tell me like, oh, something's oversold. If I did not have the Moxie indicator, I personally could not trade. I'd have a really, really hard time. Now, obviously other people out there, other traders, we have great traders. They have their own indicators. They have their own style, their own method. For me, for how I trade, I need the Moxie indicator. And so if you like the way that I trade, you need the Moxie indicator. You know, that's just what it is. So I think it's a great question. I get it, but I need the Moxie indicator to trade. And I think that's basically the answer, is because I can't trade any other way. And let's see. When a stock is in a squeeze, do you find that the Moxie indicator can give a good idea of which way the squeeze will fire ahead of time? Perfect question. I love this one. And yes, that is absolutely true, because I find, and I kind of believe, that the squeeze is not necessarily a directional one. Like, there are the histogram bars that kind of give you a clue as to, which direction. But this is why I say that the Moxie indicator plays well with other indicators. The Moxie indicator and the squeeze are like powerhouses together, because the squeeze tells you that something is really tight and compressed. The Moxie indicator basically tells you when, what direction, and how it's going to go. It is a great combination. I love it. So yeah, I love using them together, and they fit together like gloves. Let's see, Dave, what is the sweet spot for typical stock price? All over the place, really. Uh, like, honestly, I'm trading like right now, because of this market and the small caps are leading. I'm actually finding myself trading in the penny stocks. Strangely as that is, I never really thought I'd be doing that, but I'm playing down in the pennies. I'm also playing stocks that are $20, $60, $80. I can play stocks that are into the thousands. I just don't trade stocks that are much over a few hundred, because I typically trade stock and I don't get as much bang for the buck for stocks that are, in the hundreds. So that's kind of my only thing. But if you guys like options, you can trade those bigger stocks, and you just apply everything I teach to those bigger stocks and use options. So that's great. Let's see. Can I use these strategies to sell premium? Absolutely. That's where I said earlier that the Moxie indicator and my method does work well with option strategies. I just don't trade them because I don't care about options. I don't like the complicated stuff. But I know a lot of you guys out there who do, who are in my class and in my alert service, you do trade options. And people love the Moxie indicator for that reason, because it tells you where price won't go. That's how I'm able to take profit off when I need to and get in at the right time. And if you want to sell premium, just think about it. If I'm really, really good, because of Moxie and how I teach, if I'm really good at finding a stock that's going to go up, well, then you know exactly when and where to sell premium, to sell a put. And if I'm also really good at knowing when and where to take profits, then you can also be pretty good at knowing when to sell calls. So yeah, absolutely. This stuff works great for that. The point is, I'm teaching you how to read charts, how to trade stocks. Whatever kind of strategy you want to do around that is up to you. Let's see. What do you do when your daily, hourly, and weekly signals are in conflict? Well, probably I don't trade that stock, because it's probably not ready. You definitely want to have a stock that has multiple time frames agreeing with each other. And if they don't agree, either we're going to be taking a trade based on only one time frame, or the stock is a mess and we just move on from it. Gwen, this is going to be separate. So this class is a standalone from the Moxie Mastery. So if you're in the Mastery, that's a subscription service. You guys are in there. If you want to take the class, you got to take the class on your own as a separate entity. Rogue Angel, you're asking, are you like JC that will make back the price of the class during the training? I can't, for legal purposes, make any promises or guarantees like that, but that is usually our intent. We would love to make that happen. I think that we have a pretty good track record with that, but yeah, can't make any promises or guarantees. But yeah, of course, that's what our job is. That's what we love to do. We want to make sure that you guys benefit and succeed from us. So yeah, if I'm not doing a good job trading, then I shouldn't be working here. Ted, what is the average time frame you are in a trade? It depends, honestly, on the market. Some of these trades I get into and I think, oh, we should be in this one for a while, and then it goes 200% in 2 weeks, and we're like, oh, okay, let's get out. Like, we're in OGI, and I thought OGI was actually going to be, I thought we were going to hang on to this thing for a few weeks, because I thought this was a good area and a good thing to get into. And next thing we know, OGI goes straight up in the course of 3 days, and we get out. Other trades like Edit, we got into Edit yesterday and we got stopped out today. Things like that happen. For the most part, a few days to a few weeks is what we try and aim for. I'm not a day trader, and I'm not like a 6-month investor. So a typical swing trader. And then John G, with your Moxie room, are you there all day, every day? Yeah, pretty much I am. I'm accessible. I don't want to be glued to my computer. That's kind of why I teach. Like I'm trying to say we don't have to be at our computer all day, every day. So during the middle of the day, you guys may not be able to get a hold of me right away. I'm out eating breakfast with my family. I'm playing with my niece. I'm doing something else. That's the whole point of what I'm doing. Yeah, Pokemon Master. Yeah, I know. I saw OGI and SNDL. They're up in the overnight. I'm astonished. I can't. Like, I really. I was so chicken with OGI. That thing kept going up, and I was pulling money off the whole way. But SNDL is up $3.50 right now, and it closed at $2.94 today. So yeah, that one's going to be a great one. Cannabis is on fire. No pun intended. Let's see, Grace, do you mean the Moxie indicator can also be a scanner? Yep, sure can. Absolutely can. That's what you get over here. You'll see you get the Moxie scans right there. So yeah, that's how we scan for stuff. Les, we do. We have a bunch of trades active in Mastery right now, like a bunch, because we had live trading session yesterday and we put on a couple. We're killing it. I mean, everyone who is in my Mastery service had a great day today because I had a great day today. So you guys know that if I'm doing well, you're doing well because I take all the same trades. John G, so you're a junkie that you're in front of the screen. I know, I get it. I love watching them too. But I can live with kicking butts. So I guess I'll give you a pass for not being there all day. True. So if you love being in the front of the screen and you love trading, the Moxie indicator does really well for day trading as well. In fact, if you really like to be in front of the screens, day trade. Take the Moxie indicator and go down to the 15, the 5, and the 2 minute. Give it a shot. Because everything I teach, all the same principles and rules and all that stuff, they also work for day trading, for the lower time frames. It's all the same stuff. Let's see, DG, if we are in the Moxie Masteries, would we get alerts from these live trading? No, the class and the Pro and Elite live tradings are separate from the Mastery. These are two different things that we're talking about. And yes, the Moxie scan is usable after the course. You are going to own this. You guys sign up, you pay for this. You're going to own everything that you see on the screen right now. You're going to own the class. It's going to be recorded. You're going to own the Moxie indicator. You're going to own, well, the install session. You're going to own the watch list, and you're going to own the scanner, the Moxie scanner. And if you guys sign up for the Pro and Elite live trading, you're going to own those recordings too. So everything you pay for, you get to keep. It's great. Thanks, Gwen. See you tomorrow. Sam, we are working on those things right now. The Moxie indicator is only available on Thinkorswim, but we are working on it. We are building those things. And Vadehi, the Mastery service, I don't present there, but I'm in the chat room. The Mastery service is where I send out alerts and I put out weekly videos. So, but again, that's where I just hand out the fish. I say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Follow along if you want to. This right here of what I'm presenting for this class and for the indicator is I'm going to teach you how I trade. I'm going to teach you how to trade the way I trade. Chuck, no, this is all digital. Like, when was the last time you got a DVD? No, you're not going to get a DVD. This is all going to be download, and it's going to be on your computer underneath your screen name and stuff like that. So yeah, you get to keep it and own it, but no physical copy. I mean, if you have a DVD burner, you can probably go make a DVD burner or something. I don't know. I've never had to worry about that. Space Junk, good. Thank you. See you guys. ZW, Stonk, the live tradings are during the day. It's the last 2 hours of the trading day because I am a end of day trader. So it's going to be the last 2 hours of the trading day live and in the market. So we will be there. JTrader, after the class, how do you follow me? You do that with the Moxie Mastery. That's at simplertrading.com/Moxie. That's how you follow me. Craig, since you buy stock, how do small accounts participate? Can you buy less than 100 shares? Yeah, man, I don't like that's exactly what I was showing. I mean, I don't know how small your account is, but I'm trading a $5,000 and a $10,000 account. Everything I put out in percentages so that no matter what account size you have, you can still take advantages. All you need to be able to do to trade or to follow me is to be able to take one share of a few different stocks. If you have enough money to buy one share of a few different stocks, you can trade. That's the whole point. And I don't really trade the expensive stocks, partly for that reason. So, like you just need a few bucks and you can trade. Ryan, no, the Moxie indicator does not work on TradeStation. It will never work on TradeStation, but we are trying to get it on other programs. Chris, thank you. Good to see you. We'll be seeing you in the class as well. Gabe, appreciate it. Yeah, I know. 1 million day. Wow, what a day, I tell you. Reeve, how do I deal with money makers, market makers hunting for stop losses? You just deal with it. Either the trade's going to work and it's not an issue, or they kind of hunt you out and tap you out. It's a thing. And sometimes I have to get into a trade a couple times, like the stock called Open. I had to get into that twice. Like the third time I got into it, it worked. And that's just what trading is, just how things go. And Grace, yes, 95% of my trades are put out in the last hour of the day. So I think this is really great for people who don't want to be glued to the computer or have a day job or something like that. You can pretty much rely on trade alerts coming from me in the last hour of the day. And so if you trade the way I trade, if you take this class and you learn how to trade, you really only have to quote unquote work by moving money during the last hour of the trading day, and then you're swing trading. So that's how that works. Gee, Tim, my max drawdown since you started. Well, I will tell you, I have had like negative $200,000 days, but these are big accounts, and a lot of times they've actually come back. To be honest, some of my bigger down days, I forget the percentage, usually like no more than, I don't know, 5% like account value for a drawdown for a whole day. But this market is so good right now. I just keep rotating the money around that I really don't have that much of a problem. I really just my my account just has not been going down recently. It's a phenomenon. I don't even mean to be boasting, and it's no guarantee or no promise, but we have not had to worry about account drawdowns recently, and I'm sure some of the Moxie traders with me can vouch for that. Like this market is just going up. Todd, yeah. If you are in the gold room and all that stuff, sure. Use my method to run other trades through this. But I will say, other traders have other methods and other styles. And if you like how they trade, and if you trust how they trade, you have to follow how they trade. That's not to say that I'm going to step in and counteract somebody else's trade. We're all wrong at some point. Some of us are right, some of us are wrong. We could look at the same thing and one of it, Sam and I've gone back and forth on trades and be like, I don't know, man, I don't think that's going to work. And it totally works. And Sam's like, I hope you're right on that trade. And then I'd be wrong. Like edit, I was wrong at edit today. So I don't want my stuff to be negating somebody else's necessarily. Chris, thanks. Yeah, Chris ATL. Nolan, Moxie Indicator only works on Thinkorswim right now, but we're working on having it on others. Hey, Jay Griffs, good to see you in here, man. Okay, I'm going to be wrapping that up. I think that's a lot of questions. Hopefully we answered most of them. Imram, good to see you. Let's see, Popeye, since you're recent. I recently bought your class from 2019 and you did not spend much time on the watch list or scans in that class. Will you be spending more time on them in this new class? Uh, yeah, I'll spend some time on them. It's just because, the scans are kind of easy. The scan is just trying to bring something to you. And once it's brought to you, you need to know how to actually trade or the Moxie system in order to decide if it's a good trade or not. The scan should actually be just like the smallest part of whatever you do. The watch list, sure, there might be a little bit more too, but the watch list is really just a sorting thing. It's just something to kind of call your attention a little bit more to something else. So that's why I don't really spend too much time on them, because they're just such ancillary things. They aren't the thing that's going to make or break your trading. Yes, it's nice to have a stock brought to your attention because of the scanner, but once it is, like, you have to filter out some of those stuff. It's going to bring you, like 100 names, and you have to pick out like which couple are the best. So you really, the bulk of the time is you need to know how to trade using the Moxie system, and the scan and the watch list is just there to kind of help hone you in on certain things. And Chris, yes, the Moxie indicator does work on indexes. That's how I can read the S&P as well as I do. That's how I can read the IWM. It's the same thing. Everyone who knows me knows that I talk about the markets a lot. So yeah, definitely works on ETFs. Works on like the ARK ETF. Any of those things. ETFs are fine. They're still stocks. Yeah, Jason, in my mastery, how many trades do I take on a weekly or monthly basis? I don't even know. But right now it's been a lot, because this market is super hot. So we're taking a lot of trades. I don't know if that's what you want, but we have a lot of activity because there's a lot going on. Upindra, what percentage of my portfolio is in options and stock? I don't know. I mean, I've got at the beginning of the presentation, I showed you that I have like 4 or 5 accounts that are stock only. So those are 100% stock. The other ones, I don't know, it might be something like 50-50, something like that. And then maybe for my aggressive account that I'm trying to play around with options, it might be closer to like 80% options, but I'm just trying things, because I'm really not much of an options trader. If I'm going to do options, I'm just going to buy a call. I'm not going to do vertical. I'm not going to sell anything. I'm not doing any fancy butterflies, whatever. I'm just going to buy a call. Yeah, Mike, I do have a track record. I think you should look at like slide 5 or 6 or 8 or something like that. Yeah, I posted my track record. So I'm doing great. You can go back and check that out. Why do you open trades in the last hour of the day? Because that's kind of what I figured works best. For me, it was the most reliable time of the day to determine where the stock was going to go. I wasn't born knowing how to trade. I had to figure all this stuff out and just learn. And that's what I learned. I learned that if I could see where the stock ended at the end of the day, I could more accurately determine where it was going to go in the future. So that's why I'm an end of day trader. Fiona, amazing. Up 280%. Well done. No, I don't do futures. Moxie does work pretty well on futures. I've had a bunch of people send me screenshots and say, "Hey, look what I did in the futures." So yeah, it's a little bit noisier because futures trade 24/7, so a little bit noisier, but Moxie works well on futures. And again, you take the principles that I teach and you just apply them to futures. Chris, is it less risky because you deal with stocks versus options? I would say it's maybe less volatile, because stocks, it's a linear move. It goes up and down in a linear percentage fashion. Options, you have theta decay, and they make and lose money faster because higher percentage. So they're all risky. Options maybe have a little bit more risk, because if you're wrong, you're kind of wrong in a bigger way. But if you're right, and you're right in a bigger way. And then if you're kind of wrong on a time frame, you kind of just lose money because of theta. So yeah. Imram, come on, you know me. We're looking around. But right now, yeah, we're running cannabis. I like the EV space and everything I've talked about all these future technologies. So yeah. ZW stonk, nice. 445% on huge options today. Really good. You must have had a short-term option on that one. Jason, hey, it's no bull, right? No BS. Yeah, straightforward approach. Been trading options for a while. Your strategy seems very refreshing with Moxie. I agree. I'm an engineer. I look at this stuff and I try to just figure out what are the nuts and bolts and how do we do this. And it's done well for me. And all I can do is show you. All I can do is prove it. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to be turning in. It seems like most of the questions have kind of subsided. So yeah, let's do that. We'll see you on the 20th. You got the install session just before that. If you guys want more of me, and if you want to hurry up and start joining me on these trades, you can go get the mastery, which is the subscription. If you guys want to get a tune-up and learn how to trade and do what I do, come check out the class. You know, we've got something to cover all the bases for you. I love this stuff. I'm hungry, so we're probably gonna have a drink and a beer. EC, if you're out there, appreciate the cider that you sent, so I'm gonna have some of that. And oh, MREM, nice. Chinese New Year, New Year's Eve. Okay, great. Go enjoy yourself. I'm sure it's probably what, close to midnight for you over there. I know you're always up burning the midnight oil. And guys, I gotta just say, I love you. It's fun. This is great. We got a bunch of people here. I would not be as excited without you. It is so thrilling to have everybody on board along for the ride with this kind of stuff, because I'm making money. I know you guys are, and it is just an absolute heck of a ride to be with this and having all of you on board with me. So yeah. Tony H from Bali. You know, I actually kind of thought about that. I kind of thought about spending some time in Bali and being an expat for a little bit. I might have to consider that. So you're probably living that life over there. Good job. Good job. And yeah, Eric, yeah, just message me inside of the Moxie room and I'll send you my chart setup without any of the paid stuff. So, you know, I'll just give you my basics, all the free stuff, and then you can load the Moxie stuff on there too whenever you buy that. But yeah, I can share my public charts. Cool, everyone. Thanks again. Mandy, really appreciate it. Daryl, if you're still on there, and any of the other Simpler crew that's still back there operating all the gears and levers for me when we do this stuff, really do appreciate it. And yeah, happy birthday, Daryl. Hope you're enjoying it. Go kick back a beer, you know, now that you're 21 and all. All right, guys, catch you later and have a great night. I'll see you back in some of the various rooms into the Simpler universe. Later, guys.